Zhao Yun of Shijiazhuang, Yuan Shao of Zhumadian, Ma Chao of Baoji. If the place names in the Three Kingdoms history were changed to their current names, what kind of stories would unfold? In Chenshu's records of the Three Kingdoms, the highest ranked in combat power is not Lebu of Baotu. The one who killed Hua Shang with warm wine is not Guan Yu. The one truly regarded as the top combat power in the Three Kingdoms is the Sun family of Eastern Wu. In this video, let us follow the timeline and quickly understand the legendary life of Sun Jian, the first firecracker of the Three Kingdoms. From his birth in AD 155 to his tragic death in AD 192, Sun Jian lived for 38 years. As one of the important founders of the Sun Wu regime, Sun Jian's life was full of many legendary stories. But his halo was overshadowed by romance of the Three Kingdoms. The credit for killing Hua Shang was given to Guan Yu. The merit for defeating Lebu was given to the three brothers Liu. Even the credit for driving out Dong Zhuo was taken by the coalition forces of Guangdong. To understand the true story of this fierce tiger of Jiangdong, we must start from the beginning. Sun Jian, styled Wentai, from present-day Hangzhou, Zhejiang. The Sun family had been officials in Wu for generations. According to historical records, when Sun Jian was born, blue smoke rose from the ancestral tomb of the Sun family. Sun Jian did not disappoint after his birth. He was not only handsome, but also became an assistant at a young age. At the age of 17, while traveling to Hangzhou with his father by boat, they happened to encounter pirates robbing merchants on the shore. Without any hesitation, Sun Jian, who was fearless like a newborn, grabbed a large knife and rushed to the shore. He even pretended to command others from time to time. The pirates thought they had met government soldiers. Thus, Sun Jian single-handedly chased a group of pirates with a large knife. Sun Jian became famous for this feat and was made an acting captain by the government. In the year AD 172, 18-year-old Sun Jian, as a county commander, gathered over 1,000 strong soldiers. Together with county officers and soldiers, they defeated the rebels, who claimed to be the Yangming Emperor, and was appointed as the county magistrate for his achievements. In the following years, Sun Jian served as the magistrate of Zuyu County and Xiapi County. Wherever he took office, both his colleagues and the people gave Sun Jian high praise. In the year AD 184, the Yellow Turban leader Zhang Zhao rebelled in Wei County. Because this uprising occurred simultaneously in 8 provinces, it came swiftly. So the flames of war quickly spread throughout the Central Plains. Wherever the rebel army went, they burned county government offices, executed local officials, and drove away local bureaucrats. The country was in chaos. The Eastern Han court hurriedly ordered Huangfu Song and Zhu Jun to mobilize all available forces. They were tasked with crushing the Yellow Turban army, which threatened Liu Yang's safety. Sun Jian, who had liked to play with weapons since childhood, seized the opportunity to recruit 1,000 elite soldiers. He followed Zhu Jun in campaigns to the north and south. Due to his bravery in battle, fighting without regard for his life, Sun Jian achieved many battle honors. After the war, he was appointed colonel of separate command. Those who have seen previous videos should know that this title was merely honorary, without formal rank or real power. In 187 AD, Wu crossing of Changsha led more than 10,000 rebels. The court appointed the 33-year-old Sun Jian as the governor of Changsha, ordering him to lead the army to suppress the rebellion. After Sun Jian arrived in Changsha, he first placated the people and then selected officials, instructing them to follow the rules. As for the rebels, he said, "Leave them to me." Sure enough, in less than a month, Sun Jian defeated Wu crossing, winning back the hearts of the people in Changsha. Not only that, after dealing with Wu crossing, Sun Jian also quelled uprisings in Lingling and Guiyang. According to records, when enemies heard Sun Jian's name, they fled. Due to his military achievements, Sun Jian was titled Marquis of Wucheng. 2 years later, Emperor Ling of Han died. The general-in-chief He Jin and eunuch Shai Chongshi struggled for power, and both perished. Dong Zhuo seized the opportunity to depose Emperor Shao and place the Prince of Chenliu, Liu Zi, he seized control of the central government, acting arrogantly in the capital and committing many atrocities. As a result, many regional warlords raised armies to punish Dong Zhuo. Of course, the warlike Sun Jian would not miss such a major event. But shortly after raising his army, Sun Jian did two significant things. First, when he marched to Jingzhou, he killed Wang Rui, the inspector of Jingzhou, who had a grudge against him. Then in Nanyang, he killed Zhang Zi, the prefect of Nanyang, who refused to provide his army with supplies. From now on, Sun Jian's troops had whatever they wanted, wherever they went. AD 190, Sun Jian arrived at Luoyang. He allied with Yuan Shu to establish a strong military force. They prepared to march against Dong Zhuo. When Dong Zhuo heard about Sun Jian's uprising, he sent Huzhen to Luoyang to meet Sun Jian's forces. Seeing Sun Jian's well-disciplined troops, strict discipline, and high morale, Huzhen withdrew without a fight. Sun Jian became famous for winning without a battle. However, just as Sun Jian's morale was high, he encountered his first defeat in the campaign against Dao Qian. A year later, Sun Jian led his troops to attack Luoyang. Unluckily, he was surrounded and the army was defeated. The whole army was defeated. Fortunately, a loyal subordinate donned Sun Jian's usual headgear and disguised himself as Sun Jian. Sun Jian managed to break through the siege with a dozen cavalrymen. Embarrassed, Sun Jian collected scattered soldiers and retreated to Yangren. When Dong Zhuo heard of Sun Jian's great defeat, he once again ordered Huzhen and Lebu to lead 5,000 troops in pursuit. In his eagerness for quick success, Huzhen attacked Sun Jian before his troops could fully rest. Huzhen was defeated by Sun Jian. The subordinate general Hua Shang was also killed by Sun Jian. The battle at Yangren greatly increased Sun Jian's fame. His prestige became even more prominent. This aroused the jealousy of the petty Yuan Shu. So Yuan Shu secretly cut off Sun Jian's supplies. Angered, Sun Jian immediately went to Yuan Shu to argue. Eventually, he persuaded Yuan Shu to allocate military provisions for him. The major campaign against Dong Zhuo was nearly a failure. After Hu Zhen's defeat, Dong Zhuo personally led troops to fight Sun Jian. However, Dong Zhuo was once again heavily defeated by Sun Jian. Dong Zhuo left Lebu as a rear guard and quickly fled to the west. Afterward, Sun Jian seized the opportunity to attack Luoyang. After defeating Lebu, Sun Jian's troops entered Luoyang. By chance, Sun Jian obtained the imperial seal of the Han dynasty. After repairing the Han tombs desecrated by Dong Zhuo, Sun Jian withdrew his troops back to Luoyang. Thus, historically, it was Sun Jian who killed Hua Shang, defeated Lebu, and drove Dong Zhuo from Luoyang to Chang'an. At that time, Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei were struggling under Gongsun Zan, did not participate in Dao Dong's coalition. At that time, apart from Sun Jian continuously fighting Dong Zhuo, the rest of the eastern warlords had long forgotten their original intent and were only concerned with mutual deceit and territorial expansion. Even though Yuan Shao and Yuan Shu were brothers, they couldn't avoid scheming against each other. Sun Jian's army was the only one that repeatedly clashed directly with Dong Zhuo's forces and achieved great victories. His lone battles forced the arrogant Dong Zhuo to retreat west in panic. On the contrary, Cao Cao was defeated at Bianshui. Yuan Shao hesitated and did not advance. Eventually, the grand situation of the coalition crumbled due to mutual distrust. In 192 AD, Yuan Shu sent Sun Jian to attack Jingzhou. To fight Liu Bao, he engaged with Huangzu at Fancheng. Sun Jian continued to be unstoppable. Crossing the Han River and besieging Xiangyang, Liu Bao had to close the gates and not fight. Relying on the strong defenses of Xiangyang, he held on to his position. Even during the Song dynasty, the solitary city of Xiangyang resisted the Mongol army for years. But just when Sun Jian thought victory was assured, in a chase against the imperial forces, he was ambushed by Huangzu's men and fell in battle. This marked the fall of a great general. When Sun Jian died, his eldest son Sun Si was 18 years old, and his youngest son Sun Quan was only 11. Sun Jian's troops, led by his nephew Sun Ben, defected to Yuan Shu. 3 years later, his son Sun Si crossed the Yangtze River and revived the legacy of Jian, becoming the first young hero in the history of the Three Kingdoms with the greatest chance to unify China. Duke Jian of Song, 20th ruler of the Song state during the spring and autumn period, lacked strength but sought hegemony. His foolish sense of righteousness placed him as the most controversial martial heatman of the spring and autumn period. The Battle of Hongshui against Chu became a lesson for eternity. In this video, let's understand the righteous life of Duke Jian in one breath. Duke Jian's surname was Song. His name was Zifu, reigning from 650 BC to 637 BC. He ruled for 14 years. Zifu was the son of Duke Huan of Song. He had an elder brother named Muyi, who was the son of Duke Huan and a concubine. In 651 BC, Duke Huan was gravely ill. According to the principle of primogeniture, Zifu should have succeeded him. But at this time, his sense of righteousness overflowed. He begged his father to pass the crown prince position to his half-brother Muyi. Unexpectedly hit and got lucky, made the father and brother think that Zifu's benevolence would make him great. So Zifu became the ruler of the Song state, regarded as the older brother of Duke Jian of Song, in charge of military and political affairs. Even before Duke Jian of Song was buried, Duke Huan of Che summoned all the princes to Kuyu for an alliance. At the meeting in Kuyu, Duke Huan of Che entrusted Prince Zhao of Che to Duke Jian of Song. This agreement made Duke Jian of Song one of the 5 heatmans in the spring and autumn period. In 643 BC, Duke Huan of Che fell seriously ill. The sons of the Duke of Che fought for the throne, causing a civil war. In the chaotic situation, Prince Zhao of Che escaped to the state of Song, seeking help from Duke Jian of Song. Although the state of Song was very weak, Duke Jian of Song had promised Duke Huan of Che to take care of the prince. So in 642 BC, Duke Jian of Song notified the princes of all states, inviting them to escort Prince Zhao back to the state of Che to take the throne. Because Duke Jian of Song had little influence, most princes ignored the state of Song's notification. Only Wei, Cao and other small states sent some troops. Duke Jian of Song led the troops of the 4 states to the state of Che. The aristocrats of the state of Che couldn't grasp the strength of the Song army. Afraid of being besieged, they killed the rebellious Shu Diao, chased away Yi, crowned Prince Zhao as the new ruler, named him Duke Zi of Che. Duke Jian of Song became quite famous among the princes. Because of the death of Duke Huan of Che, there was a vacancy for the position of heatman among the princes. The fortunate Duke Jian of Song thought he had the right to compete for the hegemony, ignoring the advice of his brother Muyi. Insist on inviting the various feudal lords to form an alliance. Year 641 BC. Duke Jian of Song invited Cao and Zhu to form an alliance in southern Cao. Chong, Chen, and Sai allied with Chu in Che. Thus, 2 major factions formed among the feudal lords. Chu, Che, Zhang, and Sai formed one big group, while Duke Jian of Song's faction had only Wei, Zhu, Cao, Hua, and a few small countries. Year 639 BC. Duke Jian of Song convened the feudal lords on land for the first time, and assumed the title of alliance leader. This caused strong dissatisfaction from Che and the king of Chu. During the second alliance meeting, the arrogant Duke Jian of Song disregarded Muyi's advice and went alone. Sure enough, during the meeting, Chu had already ambushed a large army at the meeting place. When Duke Jian of Song and King Cheng of Chu quarreled over the hegemony, the Chu army took the opportunity to capture Duke Jian of Song and take him back to Chu, and launched an attack on the state of Song. It was not until the third meeting of the feudal lords, when Lu Shigong mediated, that Duke Xiang of Song was released. Year 638 BC. Returning to the state of Song, Duke Xiang's arrogance did not subside. Upon hearing that King Cheng of Chu made himself the hetman of the feudal lords, he was furious and led his army to attack Zhang. Zhang sought help from Chu. Chu immediately dispatched troops and attacked the capital of Song. Worried about the domestic situation, Duke Xiang of Song had to retreat from Zhang. The two sides met in battle at Hongshui. A decisive battle erupted, facing the Chu army crossing the river. Duke Xiang of Song's excessive benevolence once again reared its head. He refused to order an attack on the Chu army crossing the river. And when the Chu army had arranged their formation and charged at the Song army, the Song army, due to their weaker strength, quickly fell apart. Duke Xiang of Song's thigh was also hit by an arrow in the chaos. The Battle of Hongshui. The Song army suffered heavy losses, but Duke Xiang of Song still believed he did no wrong, retreating to a pavilion in Song to heal. Year 638 BC. A prince of Jin escaped and passed through Song. Duke Xiang of Song, seeking Jin's military aid, followed Gongsun Gu's advice and provided the prince with food and 80 horses. Year 637 BC. Duke Xiang of Song died from his injuries. His son succeeded him, known as Duke Cheng of Song. During Duke Xiang's reign, he appointed Chu Shang Muyi as chancellor, and the wise Gongsun Gu as minister of war, reformed internal affairs, governed with benevolence and righteousness, enabled the Song state's national strength to improve significantly. But after being released by the state of Chu, he still didn't know how to restrain himself. Ignoring Muyi's advice, he initiated the Song-Chu flood war, leading to failure. Ultimately, his ambitions turned to dust. If you like this, please like and follow. Stay tuned to learn more about interesting figures in Chinese history. What does it feel like to be an emperor as a side job? The Ming Dynasty emperors who were not filial. People who didn't love the throne, but loved craftsmanship. He was the best carpenter among the emperors, and the best emperor among the carpenters. Some said he was an illiterate emperor. Others said he was a master at handling chaotic situations. So, what kind of person was Emperor Chongzhen of Ming really? And why was he so obsessed with woodworking? In this video, let's explore the life of Emperor Chongzhen. Emperor Chongzhen was born in 1605. He was the eldest son of Crown Prince Zhu Changluo, and also the eldest grandson of Emperor Wanli. Zhu Chongzhen had 6 younger brothers, but most of them died young. Only his 5th brother, Zhu Yujian, survived. The 2 brothers huddled together for warmth in the Eastern Palace. Although he was the eldest grandson of the emperor and the future heir to the throne, Zhu Chongzhen's childhood was far from happy. His father, Zhu Changluo, was deeply unpopular with Emperor Wanli, living in constant fear. And Zhu Changluo himself was also very indifferent to his son. He favored his concubine, Lady Li, leaving both Zhu Chongzhen and Zhu Yujian to be raised by her. But Lady Li was not a kind person. Taking advantage of the crown prince's affection, she mistreated Zhu Chongzhen's mother to death. She also often beat and scolded the 2 brothers. Zhu Yujian was luckier, as he was soon sent to be raised in another palace. But Zhu Chongzhen was kept by Lady Li as a future bargaining chip. She held on to him tightly. In such an unloving environment, the young Zhu Chongzhen felt cared for only by his wet nurse, Kiba, and the eunuch Li Jinzhong. Li Jinzhong's original surname was Wei. He had served Zhu Chongzhen's biological mother, Lady Wangzhu. After Zhu Chongzhen ascended the throne, he gave Li Jinzhong a new name, Wei Zhongxian. The Ming court was very strict in educating princes and grandsons of the emperor. But due to the neglect of his father and grandfather, Zhu Chongzhen did not receive a good cultural education in his childhood, focusing all his skills on woodworking. In fact, woodworking is a highly demanding craft. Zhu Chongzhen not only mastered the use of complex tools, but also built pavilions, towers, and simple machines. Even the skilled craftsmen of that time were impressed by his creations. If Zhu Chongzhen had been an ordinary prince, his woodworking hobby would have been harmless. But as an emperor, it was a disaster. In 1620, Emperor Wanli, who had reigned for 48 years, passed away. Crown Prince Zhu Changluo, who had lived in constant fear, finally became emperor. However, he reigned for only 27 days. Zhu Changluo mysteriously died. He became the Ming emperor with the shortest reign. Then, the 16-year-old Zhu Yuxiao became the 15th emperor of the Ming dynasty. However, just as the officials were preparing to greet Zhu Yuxiao, they found that he was being held in the Qianqing Palace by Lady Li. At that time, consort Zheng of Zhu Changluo had already passed away, and the harem was without a master. Yet Lady Li considered herself the future Empress Dowager, arousing strong dissatisfaction among the Donglin party. The army was only 16 years old. How could they entrust him to this woman? Therefore, Yang Lian and others, upon seeing Zhu Yuxiao, dragged him from the Qianqing Palace to the Western Palace. But Lady Li still clung to the Qianqing Palace, refusing to leave, as the enthronement ceremony approached. Both sides were at an impasse. In the end, it was the eunuch Wang An who chased Lady Li out. Only then did Zhu Yuxiao ascend the throne, and change the era name to Tianqi. Due to Zhu Yuxiao's obsession with woodworking, he paid no attention to governance. Qeba and the eunuch Wei Zhongxian took center stage. The two colluded, causing chaos in the court and harem. The Donglin party was extremely dissatisfied with the emperor's favoritism towards Qeba and Wei. But Zhu Yuxiao turned a deaf ear. In Zhu Yuxiao's view, Qeba and Wei Zhongxian, who had accompanied him since childhood, were like his parents. One night, Qeba's two lovers quarreled in the palace, disturbing Zhu Yuxiao. Instead of getting angry, he asked Qeba which one she favored, so he could drive the other out. However, at this time, the Ming dynasty was already beset by internal and external troubles. The later Jin forces were growing stronger, and the Ming army was unable to contain them. Narachi had successively captured the important strongholds of Xinyang and Laoyang in Liaodong. In the Battle of Guangying in 1622, the Ming army suffered a crushing defeat. Wang Huazhen and Shang Tingbi retreated into Shanhai Pass, and the Ming army lost control of western Liaoning. The following year, Wei Zhongxian took control, and his power became even more prominent. He was called 9,000 years, while 10,000 years naturally referred to Emperor Zhu Yuxiao. Every time Wei Zhongxian came to report matters, he did so while Zhu Yuxiao was woodworking. Zhu Yuxiao, annoyed, told Wei Zhongxian to handle it himself. With the emperor's consent, Wei Zhongxian became even more brazen. Arrogance. Some civil officials dissatisfied with the Eastern Party also reinstated Wei Zhongxian, formed the Yan Party, opposing the Eastern Party, mutually attacking. In 1625, Yang Lian, Zhuo Guangdu, and 6 other officials accused Wei Zhongxian of 20 for major crimes. As a result, these 7 suffered brutal persecution by Wei Zhongxian, endured severe torture, died unjustly, and were called the Eastern 6 Martyrs. Since then, Wei Zhongxian's arrogance grew, erecting temples across the nation. People only knew the 9,000-year-old, and not the Emperor Zhu Yuxiao. But neither Wei Zhongxian nor Zhu Yuxiao had any real ability to govern. At this time, natural disasters plagued the Ming dynasty, along with land annexation and grassroots corruption, causing many refugees, forming a massive ticking time bomb, awaiting ignition, which would bring disastrous consequences for the Ming dynasty. The Ming dynasty, in its 260th year, began to decline. However, Zhu Yuxiao himself would not live to see that time. In 1627, Zhu Yuxiao fell gravely ill, and under the persuasion of Empress Zheng Yan, he decided to follow ancestral traditions and pass the throne to his only brother, Zhu Yujian, urging him to emulate the virtuous emperors Yao and Shan. A few days later, Zhu Yuxiao passed away, at the age of 22, posthumously known as Zizong, buried in Deling. He was the black-clad chancellor of Ming Emperor Zhu Di, who single-handedly stirred chaos in the nation. Originally a monk, apprenticed to a Taoist priest, skilled in yin-yang and military strategies, and deceitful tactics, he helped establish Emperor Yongle and compiled the Yongle Encyclopedia, yet was seen by later generations as the source of chaos. Executed without mercy, this video will chronologically explore the life of the black-clad chancellor, Yao Guangxiao. Yao Guangxiao was from Changzhou, Suzhou, from a family of doctors for generations. At 14 in 1348, Yao Guangxiao took tonsure and became a monk. The Dharma name is Daoyi. At this time, the Yuan dynasty was in great turmoil. Do not say that 10 people have one eye. It stirs up the Yellow River, and the world returns. The Golden Rebellion quickly swept through the central plains. Various places in Jiangnan also set up independent regimes. Yao Guangxiao's hometown Suzhou is the base of Zhang Shicheng, the king of Wu. Yao Guangxiao did not peacefully chant scriptures and send Buddha in the temple. Instead, he apprenticed under Taoist master Crossingzhen. He focused on studying the knowledge of yin and yang while traveling in Songshan. Yuan Gong was very surprised by his appearance. What kind of life is this? One day he will be the Liu Yi of Liu Bingzhong. Liu Bingzhong was a minister of Kublai Khan. He assisted Kublai Khan in achieving great feats. However, who can Daoyi assist? Firstly, it would not be Zhu Yuanzhang, because Zhu Yuanzhang and his founding team were from Huixi, and Daoyi was from Suzhou, aligning with Zhu Yuanzhang's rival Zhang Shicheng. In ancient times, where regional ties were valued, it was difficult for Daoyi to mix into the founding team of Ming. This is why, despite his great talent, he didn't meet his benefactor until he was nearly 50 years old. And this benefactor was none other than Zhu Di, the fourth son of Zhu Yuanzhang. In 1375, Zhu Yuanzhang ordered monks proficient in Confucianism to be examined by the Ministry of Rites. Yao Guangxiao was summoned to the capital as a learned monk, but he wasn't appointed as a monk official. Instead, he was bestowed with the title of monk physician by Empress Ma. After her death, Emperor Di traveled to the capital to attend her funeral. Zhu Yuanzhang ordered his sons to select a high monk to pray for Empress Ma. Monk Song Le recommended the director to King Yan Zhu Di. Burdened with worries, Zhu Di was startled when he met the director. "I will give the king a white hat," he said. Zhu Di immediately understood what he meant. Adding a white line above the character for king makes the character for emperor. At the age of 22, Zhu Di opened the door to a new world. From that moment on, Zhu Di's ambition for the throne began to take root and grow. And after a few years, it burst forth dramatically. The director was the initiator of this ambition. Zhu Di took the director back to Beiping and appointed him to oversee King Shu Temple. He would consult with him on any matters. Sometimes, when Zhu Di went to battle, he would leave the director to assist his heir Zhu Gaoqi. In 1398, the Hongwu Emperor Zhu Yuanzhang passed away, and the Jian Emperor Zhu Yunwen ascended the throne. The new emperor's first action was to purge the vassal kings. The first purge targeted the vassal king. Within a few months, Zhou Dai, Xiang Min, and Wu Wang were all brought to trial. Xiang Wang was forced to commit suicide by self-immolation. The director urged King Yan Zhu Di to rebel. However, Zhu Di hesitated. After all, Jian Emperor was Zhu Yuanzhang's chosen successor. Rebelling without cause would not win the people's support. The director argued that heaven's mandate was with King Yan. He advised Zhu Di not to sit idly by and await his fate. So Zhu Di began secretly recruiting soldiers. Day and night, he crafted weapons. In the summer of the 4th year, 100 household official from King Yan's mansion secretly reported to the court that King Yan was plotting rebellion. Jian Emperor ordered Zhang Bing, deputy governor of Beiping, and Zi Gui, the commandant, to capture King Yan's officials. When Zhu Di received the news, he tricked Zhang Bing and Zi Gui into his mansion and killed them. Then he gathered his troops and started the rebellion. While Zhu Di was passionately rallying his troops, explaining how he was forced to take up arms, suddenly it started to rain heavily. The tiles on the mansion's eaves were blown to the ground. The scene became quite awkward. The director quickly said that the dragon in the sky was changing the tiles of King Yan's mansion to the emperor's yellow tiles. Thus, the long-prepared Jingnan campaign began. At this time, The director was already 65 years old. His lifelong goal was to assist King Yan in becoming a person like Liu Binzhong. However, despite King Yan being the strongest among the vassal kings, but compared to the Jian emperor who rules the entire country, he still falls short. Upon receiving the news that Li Jinglong was leading 500,000 troops north, Zhu Di handed the main camp in Beiping to his heir. He led his army to Ningguang to borrow troops. The director also stayed behind to assist in defending the city. As it turned out, the director not only schemed, but also had tactics for real combat. He commanded the soldiers to defend Beiping, not only repelling the southern army's attacks, but also launching counterattacks. He had soldiers rappel out of the city walls at midnight to harass Li Jinglong's camp, making the southern army extremely annoyed. When Yan Wang's troops returned, the director coordinated inside and out with Zhu Di, defeating the southern army. Zhu Di pursued the victory, fighting all the way to Jinan. However, he was unable to break through the city, just as Zhu Di was about to forcefully open the gates with cannons. The director sent a message from Beiping telling Zhu Di that the soldiers were exhausted. It's time to retreat. Only then did Zhu Di abandon Jinan and return to Beiping to regroup. Soon, Yan Wang's troops headed south again, only to suffer the greatest defeat of his life in Dongchang. Yan's army suffered heavy losses, with General Zhang Yu killed in battle. Zhu Di barely escaped with his life. After this crushing defeat, the director encouraged Yan Wang to fight again. Although Yan Wang achieved some victories, he was unable to cross Shandong and advance to Jiangnan. He only controlled Beiping, Beiding, and Yongping. But the Jian emperor was also struggling. After 3 years of civil war, both sides were exhausted. The Jian emperor had to send the capital's garrison to the battlefield. However, this news quickly leaked. Reaching Zhu Di, the director suggested that Zhu Di head straight for Nanjing, without being distracted by the cities along the way. As long as he captured Nanjing, the rest of the country would follow. This all-or-nothing tactic seemed extremely risky, but it was not without success. In the Battle of Lingbi, Zhu Di defeated the southern army, capturing many southern generals. Doubting had no more strength to fight. June 1402, the Yan army approached the gates of Nanjing. Duke of the State Cao Gogong Li Jinglong and Prince Gu Juhud opened Jinchuan Gate to welcome Yan King into the city. Emperor Jianwen disappeared in a sea of flames. After Emperor Zhu ascended to the throne, he rewarded those who had made contributions. He conferred Dao Yan the title of monk Lucizuo Shanshai. Shortly thereafter, he was promoted to Grand Mentor to the Crown Prince and let him return to secular life. Bestowed him the name Guangshao. Although Yao Guangshao did not personally fight on the battlefield, he contributed by advising Yan King, enabling Emperor Zhu to seize the world with a limited territory. So people called him the black-clad prime minister. Even after achieving success and fame, Yao Guangshao remained in the temple. Emperor Zhu asked him to return to secular life, but he refused rewards. Workers were also sent back to tomorrow. The gold and silver treasures awarded by Emperor Zhu were distributed by Yao Guangshao to fellow villagers and relatives. However, his relatives did not accept them. When Yao Guangshao returned home, his sister closed the door and refused to meet him. There was a lament that monks shouldn't intervene. Monks shouldn't intervene. But this did not make Yao Guangshao regret. His lifelong goal was to assist a wise ruler and accomplish a great enterprise. Even after achieving success and fame, he still had significant influence during the Yongle reign. Emperor Zhu would always consult him on major matters. In addition, Yao Guangshao, as a monk, participated in the main compilation of the Ming Taizu records and the Yongle canon. This was unprecedented in the Ming dynasty. During Emperor Zhu's northern expedition, Yao Guangshao assisted the crown prince in guarding Nanjing, and taught the crown prince's grandson Zhu Zhangji to study. In 1418, Yao Guangshao passed away at Qingshu Temple in Beijing, at the age of 84, posthumously honored, and awarded the title of Duke of Rong.